Welcome, Super Souls, to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. In today's readings, we are asking, the first card is coming through already, and I can see card 2 and card 3. Okay, today we are asking very specifically, we're asking your personal angels for a message that they have for you, something that they are needing to share with you right now. I'm actually doing these readings as we are approaching, we're coming into the energy of the super full moon in Capricorn. But of course, these readings are relevant at any time you need to check in with a message from your angels, your guardian angels. And these particular cards that we're using to guide you in are the guardian angel oracle reading cards. So we're going to use these, and we're also going to be guided in by 3 beautiful feathers as well. And I will draw a rune too. I usually draw charms for those of you that follow my readings, but today we're using feathers. So let us have a look here and see what we are shown to guide you in. So reading number 1, you have angels of the universe. Okay, angels of the universe, and the feather that is guiding you in, absolutely beautiful. This is how I knew we were going to use feathers, because these 2 feathers, I already had this one, these 2 feathers literally came to me within the last few days. This is a kingfisher feather. Okay, so I will pop that there. Okay, so reading 1, the kingfisher feather, angels of the universe, and the rune of constraint. Okay, let's place that just there. Reading number 2, the card to draw you in, or guide you in rather, is Angel of Past Lives. Okay, this is what it's looking like. And Angel of Past Lives, you have the woodpecker feather. Very beautiful woodpecker feather. And you have the rune of movement. Okay. And to guide in for reading number 3, we have Angel of the Night Sky. Interesting, isn't it? We've got a full moon, almost full, in two of these readings, and that's the energy that I'm sitting in as we draw these. Now you have a red kite feather. Red kite, I'm sure you all know what that is, but you know, it's a big bird of prey. And you have the rune of signs. This is signs, signals, synchronicities. Okay, super souls. So this is the time to sit with your intuition. I'll leave the cards showing for a few moments before I end the video. I will put the timestamps into the information box and in the comments for phone users, and I will leave you just to be guided in. Trust your intuition. If more than one is speaking to you, it may be that your personal guardian angels actually have more than one message for you today. And I will of course be putting this reading into my Timeless Readings playlist, so at any time you are needing a direct communication or an answer to a specific question, you can check out that Timeless Readings playlist and find readings that answer very specific questions or bring very clear messages, direct messages from your spirit team, from your higher self, or from your personal guardian angels. Super souls, I will leave you with your intuition and see you in a moment in the readings. Hey, reading number 1, thank you so much for joining me. You have been drawn by the Angels of the Universe card, the Rune of Constraint, and the little kingfisher feather. Absolutely beautiful energy of this gorgeous feather. So I think rather than dive straight into this little collaboration, though they have quite a powerful message just in themselves, I think we'll draw some cards first and see what we are shown. We're asking your personal guardian angels if they have a message for you today and what they wish to speak about with you. Ooh. Okay, so these are the Akashic Tarot. This is the cards we're using first. We're going to draw from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as well. And lastly, we are at this stage, we may draw more, going to draw from the Angel Answers as well. Okay, let us see what we are shown. So, Super Souls, this is very interesting. We have the card Add Some. We have Up in the Air. We have the Queen of Keys and the Queen of Scrolls. Okay, very interesting cards. Reading number 1. I can see there is, with this Rune of Constraint, there is something that either feels like a hold up or a delay or a something that, in terms of something that you thought you were on track with something, and there's been an interruption in some way, shape or form. So first card we have is Persevere as well. Authenticity, dislike of others, and the inner critic. Okay. Take action. And yes, wow, this is very dynamic. Okay, Super Souls, we will be drawing more cards in a moment, but let me just first of all, let's look at what we have here. So let's look at the Rune of Constraint first. The Rune of Constraint says that there is some sense of restriction around you. Something hasn't moved forwards, or it's come to a standstill, or it's stopped. It might have been unexpected, or it might even feel like there's just a situation you're in that you want to break free from. But there's something around you that's created a kind of a pause, and very much in terms of, I want to call it your purpose and your calling. Okay, so you may even be sitting, sitting with yourself and be concerned about the state of the world and think, what can I do to make a difference? I don't feel that I can. What's my purpose, my calling? Am I on course? What's my direction? This card is all about your purpose, your calling, and your guardian angels are saying to you, look, even if you are unsure of the sort of the ultimate purpose or the goal or the dream, you are actually on track. Sometimes we're not sure. Sometimes we question, or we think, what is my purpose? Why am I here? We ask ourselves these kinds of questions. And your guardian angels are reassuring you and saying, look, actually, you are actually on track. It may not feel like it. It may feel as though there has been an interruption to your plans, or something has happened to cause you to feel as though you're on a different pathway or the wrong pathway, but actually it's actually right for you right now. There's something here that's of value to you, okay, even if you can't quite see it. And something hasn't yet been made clear to you, up in the air. Something else needs to happen first. Now, this little feather is very interesting. I mean, they're stunningly beautiful colours. What I would say is, and there's a message through with this feather that may be relevant to some but not all. Most birds, it's the male birds that have the brightest feathers. They are, in order to attract a mate, they have the brightest colours. These little birds are the exception to the rule, because the female kingfishers are as bright and beautiful as the male kingfishers. And what was fascinating with this little feather is I didn't find it near water. I was actually walking through some woodland in a completely different area. I wasn't a million miles away from water, but I wasn't close to water. And so to find this feather, kingfishers, they stay in their habitat is to be along riversides, and so this is really interesting that this was on a different pathway. So I feel there's a real affirmation from your guardian angels here, and this came to me just a few days ago. Walking through woodland, glancing down and seeing it right on the path in front of me. I feel there's something has happened or something is going on that's caused you to feel that some of you are actually looking back a little bit. You are actually on track. You need to persevere with what you thought was your calling, what you thought was your pathway. Stay on track with it. Persevere. It needs further work, but there is something else has to take place first, and you won't know exactly necessarily what that is, but something has to take place first before you are then able to take action. But I think that will become quite clear to you quite quickly, actually. Now, for some of you, whatever it is that caused you to falter, to stop, it's triggered some kind of psychological stuff and some emotional stuff inside you. Dislike of others says, sometimes we form strongly negative feelings towards others. In truth, it is not them that we dislike, but their words, their actions, and their behaviours. This card asks you to try to detach from the experience of their behaviour and see them as a soul on their own unique pathway, attempting to manage their own challenging life lessons. It's like, stand back, don't be drawn into something that, somebody else has to sort their own stuff out, basically. I feel like for some of you there's a push-pull between in your inner dialogue that is to do with feeling cross maybe, or a little bit unhappy about the actions and behaviours of others, but it's also spiraled you into some inner criticism where you start to think, you start to question yourself and, and all sorts of inner dialogue that is quite negative. So again, this card asks you to transform your inner critic into an inner critique. It's completely different. The realistic appraisal and constructive feedback of a critique will enhance your ability to step into the very best version of you, whereas ongoing and persistent criticism will wear you down, eroding your confidence and your belief in your abilities. So something's happened here. And again, I want to say you haven't really done anything wrong. That the key here is hold your head up high, be yourself, rise above all of this stuff, basically. Rise above it. Okay. This card asks you to shed the masks that you believed you were required to wear, walk to the beat of your own drum, and do not be afraid to shine. In doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Hold your head up high, walk tall. So there's something about being you. Okay, knowing that you can be you. Knowing that you are... There's something about your own pathway of evolution. Your guardian angels, I'm feeling like they're incredibly protective of you at the moment, reading number 1. Your personal guardian angels, it's like literally they are kind of, I feel like they are literally walking alongside you. They've got your back. They really are with you. And they're kind of saying, look, just because you can't see with clarity the end goal, you're still on track. Whatever you thought, the direction you thought you were going in is the right direction. It may be that the final destination has suddenly either changed shape, or there's some aspect of it that is now, you're questioning something. The key here is to consider what you actually, what that final destination is, almost in its purest form, and step away from the kind of inner criticism and the sort of when we get drawn in and someone presses our buttons, or or just somebody does something and it's like, oh, more stuff to deal with. Really put that down. Okay, step away from that, because it's causing you to look backwards. Now, looking backwards is great, but only in the aspect of learning from the situation, so that you really build that sense of who you truly are, and you take responsibility for you and no one else. Okay, there's a situation where you need to just be responsible for yourself and no one else. The Add Some card is so interesting, sitting above persevere. This is so key, because your personal angels are really saying you're on track, persevere. Who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course this takes time. Whatever you are involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You are asked to persevere and trust. And the card of add some, it's quite an affirmation again. You know, in this position, we have someone sitting here, and can you see that there's like this whole spirit team surrounding, you know, there is this girl sitting here with the book in her lap, and there's a whole spirit team around them with her guardian angel right by her, you know, saying, look, you know, there are lessons to be learned here. There are lessons to be learned here, and these lessons are valuable, and these lessons are going to contribute actually to the end goal. I want to say that there is some really quite significant calling for some of you, and you thought you were on track, and this has led you to question, am I, or should I be doing something different? I really want to say, whatever that dream is in its pure form, in terms of your personal, unique purpose, you are absolutely on track. There's something else that's happened to create this constraint, to put you on a different path temporarily. It's taken you out of your normal kind of habitat, your normal, where you thought you were going to be. There's a lesson to be learned, and it's going to actually contribute ultimately to greater clarity. It's just that the key here is to move yourself from the inner dialogue and it's like the emotional and the psychological turmoil that happens when, just as we thought we were on track, suddenly we're not. This is very interesting, this card here, up in the air, and we're going to draw some more cards around this. Up in the air means that something hasn't yet happened. There's either something that you don't yet know about, which is going to bring some clarity, or something hasn't yet happened or evolved that needs to, for you to be able to gain that clarity. Your role at the moment, your guardian angels, your personal guardian angels are saying to you right now, you know, there is an invitation. I mean, you always have conscious free will and choice, but your guardian angels are saying to you right here and right now, your role in this is to rise above, to be able to look at the situation, to glance back, to evaluate it, but without being drawn into the psychological going round and round and over and over it kind of, I mean, you know the stuff, we all do it, it's a human thing, isn't it? And the emotions that come with that. It's like put down the habitual thinking patterns and the ruminating and the crossness that comes with it, and the emotional stuff that is loaded, the inner critic, all of that, put that down, literally. But I'm going to do some energy shifting in a moment in this reading. I do this sometimes in my readings, so I'm going to do that for you. And but we'll draw some cards around the up in the air first, because something needs to happen that hasn't yet happened, or there is something you are unaware of that will be brought into your awareness. You'll see it for what it is, and that will enable you to shift away from this rune of constraint and to move forwards and to get yourself to kind of re-find your own personal orientation, your own kind of north, as it were. Okay, and you'll know, it will be a yes, it will be really clear, you'll know when to take action. There'll be a something that's going to come through that will give you a clarity of direction, and really you are then being asked absolutely to say yes to that opportunity. So something will happen that will bring clarity of a pathway for you. Now, let us draw some more cards around the up in the air and see what we're shown, and we'll do some energy shifting around these cards. So, I'm going to use a couple of different cards. So, I'm going to use a tarot pack. You know, what are we shown, please, for reading number one? What is up in the air? What's needing to come to light or be seen? Just those three. And we'll draw from another little angel pack as well, because we are, after all, consulting your personal guardian angels for today's readings. Okay, so your tarot cards, first of all. Okay, you have the High Priestess, you have the Seven of Swords, and the Four of Cups. Okay. And then your angel cards. Block out distractions. Yeah, lovely. Donations, tithing and charitable work, and abundance mindset. Lovely. This is super. Super, super cards here. Gosh, I think whatever's taken place, it's really given you big time sort of indecision. And you know, I spoke about in these two cards here, which we are going to shift energy-wise. But actually, let's do that right now. We're going to shift the energy. I'm going to move these up. This up in the air card, which is what we've been asking about, is very, very clear here. I'm going to shift these because this is the problem here. It's like you've been, you know, when something happens and it throws us off balance, and it's really, really hard. It's like once something's got under your skin, it's sometimes incredibly hard to stop. It's like it's triggered some sort of internal dialogue that's tying you up in knots, actually, and it's becoming a bit self-perpetuating, I think, super souls. You know, you need to hold your head up high here. Persevere. You know, this is really it's very clear here. You know, this is like saying yes to you. This reading is saying yes to you. So we're going to do some energy shifting. Now we have some amethyst crystals just sitting here, and I have some more to one side. So I'm actually going to place these here. So let's just sit with what this feels like. Listen to what this is feeling like. Literally, this is sitting in your body. Okay, just sit with this energy here. Okay. Now your angels are saying to you, this is becoming a problem. Okay, what's happened has happened. You know, we can't change the past. You know, we can look back at it, but it's causing this kind of constant turmoil here. Okay, this is a problem for you at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some amethyst crystals, and we are really going to move these cards back. Okay, this is literally causing you to feel off track, to feel constrained. Okay, so I'm going to move this card. So sit with what this is feeling, and we'll shift. So this is actually, this belongs in the past. Okay, these cards really need to sit over here. You know, it's time to close this down. You know, what's happened has happened. You can't change it. You can reflect for the learning, but actually the more you go over and over it, the more energetically your world is on hold, and it can become like a self-fulfilling prophecy here. So let's create a beautiful line of amethyst crystals. Amethyst is a master healer. Beautiful energy. Create a beautiful line here where we sort of say, do you know what? Enough is enough. Oops. We are just going to totally seal that row out there. That just belongs in the past. That is actually done and gone. What has happened has happened. Okay, you can't change it. That's past and done. In fact, I'm actually even going to turn that over. It's past, it's done. There we go. That is not your problem anymore. Okay, you don't need to deal with that at all. In fact, I'm even going to change the rune of constraint to that way. Right, that feels now quite good to me. I love the light coming in on these cards as well. Now, Let's start working with the energy of moving forwards, the affirmation and the confirmation from your guardian angels who are saying to you today, you are on track. Just because you found yourself on the wrong pathway, you are on track, and we know that you are. We are walking alongside you. Persevere. Hold your head up high. Reflect, because there is learning to be had. Okay, this is fine. Block out distractions. You know, block out distractions. Get into a space of gratitude, donations, tithing, and charitable work. You know, when we connect in to other people, to people who are, you know, when we do charitable work, we move ourselves into a giving zone where and it often shifts the energy to a space where we can really begin to appreciate all that we personally have. And gratitude is, of course, one of the highest vibrational energies around. Bring yourself into an abundance mindset. Walk tall, persevere. Okay? Now you are going to be called to take action at some point. The Four of Cups, it's very much about giving and receiving. It's a card of generosity. And the High Priestess is about getting yourself back into balance here, okay? It's aligning your chakras. This card is literally saying, get yourself balanced. Even the Four, it's very, very much, we can see a sort of a balance here, a balanced mindset. Get yourself back into balance, get yourself back on track. And they are, your guardian angels are suggesting, block out distractions, stop ruminating, let go of this. This has been a distraction. Get yourself back on track in your own direct calling and pathway. This is a time for you to focus on your higher calling, your purpose, and it's not about anyone else. Okay, this is something that you have a contribution to make, and your guardian angels are saying to you, look, you are on track. This has knocked you off balance, but you can now regain that balance. What is currently holding you back is actually almost like the mindset and the thinking patterns that have been triggered. Now, Super Souls, for anyone who is new to my readings, I worked as an accredited counsellor for, gosh, over 28 years. I now have my calling is now to put things into the world in a very different way, and to follow that spiritual pathway of sharing knowledge and bridging those divides between, you know, the psychotherapy understanding and the spiritual understanding, because it's all the same, really. We're talking about soul evolution. So, Super Souls, I wrote a book. I'm not here to plug my books, but it's called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness. I voice it because certain emotions will trigger very specific thinking patterns. You know, for example, disappointment, for example, will trigger thinking patterns that are very habitual, and it's the sort of, you know, all the good ones are taken, it'll never happen for me, it always goes wrong for me. Very specific thinking patterns, and that creates more disappointment. They're very circular, but they get in a loop. The thoughts create the feelings, which create the thoughts, which create the feelings. It's the same. Anxiety creates what if thinking patterns where we catastrophize, and we anticipate this will go wrong or that might happen. Again, very specific emotions create very specific thinking patterns, and they get into a loop. In that book, I've really identified those thinking patterns. So if you're struggling with this kind of habitual thinking, you might find that book helpful. Every chapter also has exercises to help you overcome them, to step out of those thinking patterns. And I'll put a link in the information box and the comments for phone users. But once you get clarity and you're back in balance, Super Souls, it'll be time to take action again. And literally, your guardian angels are really saying to you, say yes to life. Not to life dictated by the actions of others, but yes to the life that is dictated by you. It's pretty, very powerful reading here, Super Souls. Really, really powerful reading. Literally rising above. I'm going to draw one more card to conclude our reading, and we're going to draw from another tarot pack, and I'll put the names of the cards in the information box to you. Queen of Stars, Illuminator. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at the Queen of Scrolls and the Queen of Stars. These are so beautiful together. Your guardian angels are saying to you, you have something valuable to bring to the world. You can be a light that shines for others. You've got sidetracked. You've got drawn into something that's got under your skin, knocked you off balance, but your actual purpose in a unique personal way is you're actually still on track. Even if you're not sure what your purpose is, you are being guided, and whatever has happened, getting back on track, you'll see the next steps, and your guardian angels will light the way for you. You will see the way you need. There's a connecting with your higher self, who will automatically show you step by step the pathway forwards. But you are absolutely on track. Wow. Reading number 1. This is very beautiful. You'll know when to take action. You just will. You'll know. Super Souls, thank you so much for joining me. If this reading has resonated with you, if you're new to my channel, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. I have a monthly prize draw where I give away a free private reading and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. That's a subscriber offer, and I have a subscriber email list. If you join yourself on that, once you're on it forever. My colleague draws the names out of a hat every month, and I announce the winners after my Sunday readings. I post readings every single Sunday with weekly guidance from your spirit team. I also post a weekly moon update every Friday with the coming week, literally the lunar energy day by day, how that's going to be, you know, the dynamics of that and how that might be influencing our week on a daily basis. So do check those out. And this is one of the more spontaneous readings that I do, you know, every couple of days, just to answer very specific questions and tune us into any additional guidance that we need. Super Souls, I am just sending you all the love in the world. I totally get those thinking patterns and those emotions. It's the human stuff, and there's so much being dredged up for us at the moment that's part of our evolutionary growth into, you know, literally the dawning of a new age. So whatever we are each going through, you guys are playing a part in the moving of humanity forwards to higher levels of consciousness, you know, learning not to be emotionally and psychologically reactive, but to hold the higher ground and stay on course irrespective of other people's stuff. You know, this is a really powerful reading. Super Souls, I am sending you all the love in the world, the biggest hugs, and I am sorry that this happened, because it's tough when your buttons are pressed. I get it. I really get it. But it's when our buttons are pressed that we often then learn those big life lessons of how not to retaliate, how not to be drawn in. And, you know, and often that in itself will be part of the learning we needed to be able to truly bring our greatest contribution into the world, and to share our greatest authenticity. Super Souls, I am just sending you all the love in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Super Souls, welcome to reading number 2. You have chosen or been called to the card of Angel of Past Lives. We have a beautiful woodpecker feather and the rune of movement. The rune of movement is the bettering of any situation. And this is really interesting because the woodpecker kind of gets to the root of things. They persevere, but they get under the bark. They pull out the insects from under the bark of a tree. So it's something that either isn't making sense to you. That's what your guardian angels are already saying to you. You may be experiencing or feeling something that you are actually experiencing something that does connect to a past life. So you may be finding that you're having quite an intense reaction to something, or circumstances are playing out and you're not really sure how or why, or what's going on, or why this is happening, or you're trying to make sense of it. Or for some of you, you may even be feeling that you're either out of alignment with someone or a circumstance. There's something here that is connected to a past life, and it needs to be understood in that way in order to be processed. I think that's actually what your angels are already communicating here. So something is needing to be seen, or they wish to share some information with you. So we are asking today for your personal guardian angels to give you a message that you need to hear right now. So reading number 2, we're drawing from the Akashic Tarot first, the Art of Manifestation cards as well. Okay, let's see what we have here for you, super souls. So, right, okay, we have the Divine Physician. We have the Bird's Nest. Oh, we have the War of Roses in reverse and the King of Roses. Okay, so let's show you these cards. So the Divine Physician, this is a card of healing. You know, this is the energy of a situation that requires healing. Now, because we already know that your guardian angels are saying to you, look, there's been a past life connection here. Sometimes this card literally says someone has come into your life because you made an agreement that you would come back to sort something out. Whatever it is that you are processing right now in the immediacy of your life right now, beautiful reading number 2, it's happening because something needs to be healed. Okay, if you're feeling a bit disconnected from people around you, again, something's happening which needs to be healed and needs to be nurtured so that you're bringing something to a close here. Okay, so the Three of Forces is literally, you're sort of being asked to feather your nest. Okay, now you may be feeling as though you wish to sort of stay at home, or there's an investment to be made here. There's an investment. Maybe in a previous life you weren't able to care for yourself. We'll draw some more cards around clarifying this in a moment. But maybe you weren't able to be nurtured properly, or someone didn't give properly to you, and there's an issue around giving and receiving, or around being able to feel like you belong is coming through here. Actually very strongly for some of you. Quite hard to feel like you belong or know where you belong. Now, this is coming to an end. Okay, the War of the Roses, I'll put it in the upright position so you can see it upright first. The War of the Roses and the King of Roses, it's very interesting because the King of Roses is about partnership. It's non-gender specific really, but it is about partnership. It sometimes refers to a masculine person. The War of Roses is a conflict. It's a card of conflict. Because it's in its reverse position, the conflict is coming to an end. Okay, so whatever the conflict, if it's, again, the King of Roses here was in reverse, whatever the conflict, it's coming to an end. And whoever has been, it's almost as if whatever this was about karmically, it's now leaving your life. Okay, you've come here, you've processed this, and it may have been within an intimate partnership, it may have been, you know, in a situation, but this is now coming to an end. The actual conflict is coming to an end. You've addressed it. It can come to light. It can be filed away. You've done the bit that was needed, because we have the rune of movement. This is the bettering of any situation and something gathering momentum. And the woodpecker perseveres. You know, they chip away at things till they get to the root of it. Gossip and drama. Giving and receiving. Learn to say no, empower yourself. Oh, super souls. This is very, very powerful reading number 2. Right. Basically, don't get involved. Step away. Any backstabby stuff, any sort of, need to retaliate, put it down, move away from it. Don't be drawn in. This card says talking behind people's backs is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. This card also asks, if you're unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. Just, if you guys have been drawn into something that stirs stuff up, just don't go there. And if other people are having drama, don't join in, don't go there. This is so clear. I feel like in a past life, we'll draw more cards here in just a second, but I feel as though for you guys, super souls, in a past life, something went on that was quite fueled, quite targeted. Maybe a group of people were put down in some way, shape or form, and you were involved in that. Perhaps persecuted or maybe even tangled in a group of people where you were obliged by default to have to act in a way that wasn't okay with you. But, it's a bit like if you are in a war situation and you don't want to fight, but you're obliged to. And if it's like a bit like being a conscientious objector or a deserter, let's say, and your principles are really high. You don't want to fight. You don't believe in it. This is not right. But the circumstances oblige you to. There's something around an energy of that in a past life. You've come back here to sort out your choice in being involved in a conflict or not. Other people around you may well want you to be involved in a conflict. Other people around you might want to fire it up, but you're being asked to literally say no to conflict. Say no to conflict. Saying a healthy no, let's bring this up. Saying no is an act of love. When we say a healthy no to an abusive situation, whether this is in response to another person or to ourselves, we are setting limits and we're establishing healthy boundaries. A healthy no is saying yes to life. Give yourself permission to say no. And this is very interesting. It comes with the card Empower Yourself. Empowerment does not mean that we have power over others. Very important. It means we have power over ourselves. We honour our capacity for free will and conscious choice whilst honouring the same in others. This card asks you to evaluate your present situation and to ensure and to take an ownership of your right to choose, with a recognition of the entitlement of others to do the same. Literally, this is like saying, say no to conflict. Don't get involved. Leave it to other people. It's not your problem. It's like somehow you've previously had a conflict in a past life where you were not given a choice over what you were allowed to do. There was an obligation. Either you were persecuted, targeted, or you were involved in something, but whatever it was, you had no choice in the matter. And we're being shown here, it's time to choose to do it differently. Just stay at home, just don't get involved. Look after yourself. Feed what you know to be right. Giving and receiving, again, really interesting. Give and take is different to giving and receiving. Because taking and receiving are not the same. When we take something, whoever we take it from may or may not have chosen to give it to us. However, when we receive, choice and respect are an integral part of the exchange. This is quite interesting. I used to use an example sometimes for this card of it's like if I was, let's say you came to visit me and I had a book that you really, really wanted. And instead of, if you'd actually said to me, is there any way I could borrow that book? I might be really totally happy and say, yes, of course you can. But instead, it's when, if for example you then said to me, well, you kind of made an elaborate story that was designed to make me feel really guilty if I didn't give it to you, if you see what I mean, or you just took it without asking. You know, ultimately the outcome is that you get the book, but the exchange isn't good. It needs to be given by choice. So there's something about something being completely, some negotiation being completely open and upfront, and without the gossip and the drama, without any form of manipulation. So totally say no to any form of conflictual, underhanded connections. If something has to be negotiated, it needs to be done in a totally open way that respects everybody's opportunity to say yes or no, because that is their right to choose. Very interesting. And, you know, we're going to see the bettering of a situation here. I'm going to draw some angel cards now to see what we are shown for reading number 2. Remain positive. Yeah, lovely, lovely energy. What else do your personal, look for a sign your personal angels wish you to know? I feel like this conflict, Super Souls, has drained you. It's like, and it's not, what's really showing here for me is it's not the way, it's not the actual conflict that's drained you. It's the way it's been navigated without it being upfront. Not everything has been voiced, and that's the problem. Not all parties have all the information. If all parties had all the information, they would be able to make conscious choices, and one way or the other you could all decide what you want to do. So there's something very interesting about the way, it's not the actual circumstance, it's the way in which it's being manoeuvred, you know, by people who have an agenda behind the scenes, or by past stuff coming up. And it needs to be, that stuff needs to come to light so that there's a clarity around this, rather than the sort of he said, she said sort of stuff. Let's draw some more cards around this, you know, what is going on in this situation. Let's ask for more information here. What's going on for reading number 2? What's been taking place? Your guardian angels are very clear here. You know, they want you just to step away from the drama and to literally be consciously making totally upfront choices, that, you know, no manipulation, no maneuvering, no buying into that underhanded gossipy stuff. Five of Wands. Okay, so we have Five of Wands, which is a card of victory. Enjoying that, and the wheel is going to turn. Queen of Discs. Four of Discs. Six of Cups. The Teacher. And then we have the card Knight of Swords. Okay, Super Souls. I actually think, you know, your guardian angels are saying, look, this is getting a bit competitive. You know, almost like, you know, whose issues are more important, you know, that this conflict has become competitive. It's become about underlying need rather than what it should be about, which is a clear agenda. The moment you remove the competitiveness, the need to win, the moment, you know, it's got fired up into some sort of, you know, whose needs are more important, and there's definitely a karmic level of returning to something. You know, people, maybe people involved in this situation who you've either known before, or the situation is resonant with something that you've known before. The purpose of it, the higher purpose, is to teach you to fix it, to not do it that way, to be open, to be fair, to be balanced. But there's a lot of need being played out. That's all I can say here. And your guardian angels are saying, look, don't involve yourself in this need. Work out what's right for you and walk that pathway, but walk it with integrity. Make some clear choices here. Look for a sign, remain positive, and look for a sign, because everything here is wanting to move forwards. Everything here is about the bettering of a situation and the gathering of momentum so things are moving forwards. The clarity that you're being offered here by your guardian angels is that they are literally saying to you, there is a different agenda at play here at a past life level. So super souls, whether this is literally you re-meeting someone or a circumstance, it's something is playing out that you've had a connection to before, or a resonance, and this time you have the opportunity to do it differently. You don't have to be pulled in, you don't have to engage in conflict, you can choose to walk the higher road. You can make those decisions, you can look at this in a balanced, mutually giving way, you can review, reflect, you can bring the learning in that's needed, and then make very clear, decisive choices that are based on that recognition of mutuality. Draw some more cards from another angel pack for you as well here, reading number 2. It is safe for you to receive. Positivity, faith and optimism remain positive. Yeah. Part of the tangle in this, I think, super souls, for you. We have this card too. Clearing depths. So here we are. This is the karmic bit. Part of the energy here is about your. It's almost. I feel like somewhere in a past life you couldn't receive, something would have been taken away from you. Again, choices were taken. Fundamentally, choices were taken from you. You know, whether you were targeted or you were pushed into having to do something, choice was removed. And choice is really key here, because choice is absolutely vital to health. For any of you who know me and know my work, you'll know I was an accredited counsellor, a psychotherapist for over 28 years. My work is much more about spiritual teachings now. But on my website, which is a library, it's a totally free resource, the A to Z of emotional health. I'll put the link in the information box and comments for you guys. I wrote a lot of blogs for the Huffington Post for a while, and there is actually a blog about choice and why and how it is so integral to health. You know, it was published, gosh, many years ago, but it was literally talking about how choice is absolutely integral to our capacity to live a healthy life, and that includes respecting the choices of others. You know, whenever we act in a way, or someone acts in a way that removes your choices, or you act in a way that removes theirs, which is, you know, when we think about gaslighting and a lot of the manipulative stuff that goes on, where people maneuver things in order to get what they need, but they're not really doing it in an open, upfront way. The root, of course, of those kinds of things comes when choices have been removed. It wasn't safe for us to have something because it would be taken away from us. We didn't think that we could receive. So we then, you know, people who can't openly receive often act out or maneuver things because it's the only way they feel they can ever get anything. But the root of it is a real sense of inequality or a lack of entitlement. You know, we go about getting our needs met in an underhanded way. You know, even people who are really ruthless, and you guys may well have met someone really ruthless on the course of your journey, certainly in a past life. I think you've probably come across that. But ruthlessness is relative to deprivation. You know, if somebody is empty inside, the more empty they are, the more they don't know how to get their needs met in a healthy way, the more ruthless they become. You know, so there's something very karmic here, the past lives, that's taking place. And your guardian angels, your personal guardian angels, are saying to you, look, this debt can be cleared. This karmic debt can stop now. Okay? The clearing debts card says your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making plans to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. In this instance, this card is actually talking about karmic debt. It's saying, look, you can shift this by allowing yourself to recognize it is safe to receive in an open, upfront way, and by respecting other people's choices to give to you, to say yes or to no to you, and if it's a no, that's fine, and for you to say no to people, that's okay. We then can get our needs met somewhere else. And so this is really important, that we respect the choices and we honor our own choices and we respect the choices of others. If you do go onto my library, it's a membership site. It's www.azemotionalhealth.com. It's completely free. It's a completely free resource. It was sort of my parting gift to my profession as I left that in its full-time capacity. So look for the blogs page, and you'll find that blog there. I'll see if I can find a link actually and put it in the information box too. So it is safe for you to receive. Hold positivity, hold faith and optimism, remain positive. Look for signs. Your guardian angels are saying to you, life doesn't have to be lived in this way. We don't have to maneuver, we don't have to try to make things happen, and we don't have to buy into other people's stuff when they only know how to live like this. We can firmly close the door and say, no, I'm really sorry, but that doesn't work for me. I'm not engaging with this kind of process. I will only engage in an upfront, clear way that honours the entitlement of all parties to have their needs respected and their choices respected, and honours everybody's wishes in a way that is completely upfront. And so it's all about integrity, which is interesting. I'm recording this literally in the energy of a super full moon, and my goodness me, the dynamics of this particular super moon are all about addressing inequality, imbalance. Things are being, it's all about integrity. Integrity rules really, and any areas that aren't operating in that way are being called to account. It's a fascinating energetic to show up as we're doing these readings, although they do of course apply at any time that you need that information and for your guardian angels to speak with you. These are such powerful readings, super souls, and I really just want to honor your pathway. Because what you went through in a previous life, the lack of choice, the lack of respect, not being allowed to make decisions for yourself that resonated with you, it leaves like a karmic scar. And then we find ourselves in these situations in our present life and we think, where did that come from? Why is this happening to me now? Why is this going on? And it's actually because you've come back to clear this debt, or someone has come into your life to clear that debt with you. Maybe they couldn't respect you in a previous life and they've come back now, and maybe you're needing to say no to them in this life, or maybe they're needing to say no to you, or there's something going on here around this clearing of debts, and you're being asked to hold that positive light and signs will be shown. Super souls, I'm going to draw another card for you just to see how is this going to pan out for reading number 2. Knight of Angels, Watcher. 3 of Hearts, Joy. Oh, this is so lovely. 3 of Stars, Visions. Oh, wow. 2 3s, magnificent. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Knight of Angels, Watcher. I just need to say to you, your personal guardian angels are literally watching over you. They really, really are. They are very conscious and aware of the past life situation that is being brought into your world at the present moment. And they want you to know that they have full vision of what this is about. They understand exactly what you're going through. And they really honour your soul's journey in coming here to address this once and for all. So there's no further legacy of inequality, lack of choice, then sent into future generations. There's a real sense of honour, pride in you, and respect for you for this level of karmic work. And I just need to honour that from me too, because this is big stuff. This is absolutely joy. 3 of Hearts, joy. 3 of Stars, vision. Just simply in seeing things as they are and choosing not to buy into anything that is underhanded, holding that position of positivity. You will be shown the signs, the way will become clear, you will literally celebrate, solutions will come, and this karmic pathway will literally clear, and the way will then be opened for you to move forwards, to move ahead. Anything and everything in your life that you are choosing to invest in, to manifest, is then going to gather momentum, because this space of difficulty around giving and receiving will be resolved. You are no longer carrying that karmic debt, and the world will open up for you, whether this is to do with your work, your partnerships, your friendships, any area of your world. The moment you choose to make a conscious choice with clarity not to buy into this kind of stuff, the way will be clear. And my goodness me, your angels, I feel like they're applauding you. It's absolutely beautiful. And super souls, I applaud you too for your perseverance and your total commitment to getting to the root of this, and your commitment to making that choice. I really just wish to honour you in every possible way. Reading number 2, I am just sending you all the love in the world. You guys, for doing this level of work, stepping up, making that choice not to operate in this way. I mean, wow, not to buy into anything that involves that kind of game playing, making that personal choice to respect other people's choices as well as honouring your own. That's saying no to people who work that way. You can walk away from them. You don't have to buy into this stuff. Just amazing. Reading number 2, I cannot tell you how much respect I have for you. Tons and tons and tons of love to you. If this reading has resonated with you and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon. I mean, this is a spontaneous reading. I'm building a playlist of very special readings that ask direct questions, or we ask your angels or your spirit team to give you guidance in the moment. I post readings every Sunday as well, with weekly guidance from your spirit team, and I post a moon update every Friday with literally a daily moon forecast for the coming week to tell you about the incoming energy and how that might be affecting us, so what you can do with that kind of incoming flow of energy and the magnetic pull of the moon. So super souls, there's a ton of stuff always being uploaded. I also give away a free private reading and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards too every month. That's a subscriber offer. If you'd like to be in my monthly prize draw, I have a subscriber email list, and the link is in the information box and the comments for phone users, so you can connect in with that. Once you're on that list, it will literally just take you to a registration page. That's it. Once you're on the list, as soon as you sign up, you're on the list forever. My colleague draws the name out of a hat every month, and I announce the winners after one of the Sunday readings. Super souls, I am sending you all the love and the biggest respect ever in the world. Tons and tons of love to you for sorting out this debt and moving above and beyond it. You know, it's a biggie to say, do you know what, whatever happened to me in a past life, I'm bigger and better than that. I'll own my own choices. I'm never going to get involved in anything like this ever again. Huge respect to you, super souls. Huge respect. Hey, super souls. Welcome to reading number 3. You have been drawn by the card Angel of the Night Sky, the rune of signs. This is signs, signals, synchronicities, and the feather of the red kite. So this is a bird of prey. This is a bird who flies high and has a higher vision. Very, very high, much a higher vision. In fact, I'm going to put that feather right at the top. Okay. Now, Let's see what we are shown as we draw other cards before we dive into any of the guidance from your personal guardian angels. We are asking, what do they need you to know? What are they trying to communicate? What do they wish to tell you at this time? Oh, it's definitely that one. So this is the Akashic Tarot that I'm drawing from, and we'll use the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as well. Oh, that one. Okay. And I think we'll draw some angel answers as well. Here we go. Let's see what we are shown. 1 and 2. Okay, so let us have a little look and see what we have here. So your Akashic Tarot cards. Okay, this is very interesting. We have 7 of keys. Let me show them to you as we draw them. So 7 of keys, the Ascent. This is lovely. You're nearly where you want to be on something. Okay, very nearly. You're very close to achieving something. We then have the card Fated Meeting. This is lovely. Okay, Super Souls. Wow, reading number 3. We then have the 7 of Roses in reverse, and Will, Wisdom, and the Mind. Now, let me turn these up so you can look at them upright, and then we'll put them in reverse. Okay. This is very clear, actually, already, this reading for you. Reading number 3. Very, very clear. Very clear message to you. Mistakes. Okay. We have Walk Away. We have Grace. And we have Authenticity. Okay. Okay, compromise and in the near future. Now this is really interesting. Sometimes this card of compromise is saying, look, we need to find a compromise. At other times it's saying don't compromise. Okay, don't compromise yourself, don't settle for less in the near future. Okay, so this is really, really interesting. Reading number 3. This is orientated around relationship. Now, you're actually very close. So for any of you that are calling in a soulmate, you're very, very close to achieving that, actually. Now, I think this is actually wholeheartedly a relationship reading. So Super Souls, if that is not relevant to you, this may not be the right reading for you. You're very close to achieving what you desire. You're very close. There is a meeting point coming. Okay? It's in the near future. You're very, very close to a meeting point. What has actually happened is, okay, I'll voice as well, just connecting in with relationship. This could also be a business partnership for some of you. So, but there's something very key about someone coming into your life. For many of you, this is about love. It's about soulmates. It's about intimacy. For others, it may not be. You know, it could be a business relationship, but it is connected to relationship. You're very close to meeting someone, you know, with like a divine order, divine timing. It's in the near future. What has actually happened though is that your desire for this connection has led you into a relationship or a connection with someone that wasn't really right for you. Okay, you know, mistakes happen, and sometimes our desire to meet someone, to be with the right person, means that we don't look closely enough. We can, you know, we can compromise over our the essence of the things that are really important to us. Okay? This is actually really, really clear. It's one of the clearest cards in this pack. Walk away. Walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go and move on. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we're so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of a known and yet toxic situation. This card validates your entitlement to leave. Okay. I think some of you really are feeling as if, I just want to say the signs are actually there. Something hasn't been right for you. You're actually very close to achieving, I mean, if this is a business partnership, if it's a friendship even, there's something in this that isn't, there's something in your world at the moment that isn't right in terms of a relationship. If anything, I would say it's somebody who requires you to be what they need you to be rather than your authentic self. There's something about them that diminishes you, that doesn't validate who you truly are. They require you to compromise too much. But actually, you're really near where your spirit team are saying to you, you're actually very, very near to achieving your goal, to calling in the right partner, to calling in the right business partner, the right soulmate connection, the right friendship group. You're very close to calling this in. You know, the Ascent is a card that says you've got there, and you've got there through your own hard work. This is in the near future, so we've got a really strong beginning and a strong end. It's like your angels are saying to you, look, just because you feel as though your journey has been delayed, don't let your resolve topple. Learn from your mistakes. Walk away from the circumstances and situation that don't resonate with you. Look at the people that don't resonate you through the eyes of grace. You know, when we sit in relationship with grace, we see every situation through the eyes of love, fostering our desire to meet life with understanding, compassion and kindness. This card asks that you view your situation with grace. Will understanding bring compassion? How would love view your possible choices? What would kindness suggest you do? And authenticity, it's all about being you. Learn from your mistakes. Walk away. This is actually about to happen. You're really close to something. Angel of the Night Sky is a super, super lovely card because it reminds us just to stop, to go outside, to look up at the stars. In fact, this card actually says, find a star in the night sky, focus on it, and make it your personal guide. You know, your angels will channel energy through that particular star. You know, every time you look at that star at night, it will bring you healing and release and help you to find clarity of direction. This is the card that also says, listen to the moon cycles. You know, and for those of you that are new to my channel, I post a moon forecast every single Friday now, literally with a daily moon forecast for the coming week. I'll say a little bit more at the end of the reading for anyone that's interested in knowing about that. But literally knowing what the energy, the incoming dynamics of the energy of the moon are, the lunar energy every day. And this card says, follow the moon cycles, listen to the energy, learn to work with the moon energy, let her illuminate your pathway, let her support you, let her bring you signs. I do feel that for some of you, there may be a situation which is temporary. The journey in reverse, the card of the journey. I mean, this is about setting forth on a new chapter of life. If you thought you were almost there with somebody, you thought they were the one, and that journey has suddenly become interrupted or delayed, you may need to walk away. We'll draw more cards around this. You may need to walk away, but it may be that then a compromise can be found and you may come back together in the near future. Something will be put right in the near future, but right now The key is to learn from mistakes, sit in a space of grace, get yourself centered, and trust that your angels, your personal guardian angels, are showing you the signs you need to see in order to come through this situation, in order to become more authentically you. So, Super Souls, I'm going to draw from another tarot pack. So we are asking very specifically for reading number 3, what do your guardian angels wish to tell you, to share with you about your current situation? What do they want to communicate with you? And we draw from another angel pack as well. Okay, so let's have a look. Have a look at all our cards. We've got a lot. Okay, yeah, so we have the 5 of Cups to start with. Okay, so there is the energy of an ending of some sort around you, which is really interesting. It's the walk away card, but let's set it there. You know, something needed to happen here. It was actually really important. The Hanged Man, something needed to be seen with clarity. Something wasn't being owned, or it wasn't being addressed in some ways. Something wasn't being brought to light. Maybe it just came to a head. But you know, mistakes are here for us to learn. A mistake is you know, our mistakes are the cutting edge of our evolution. They're where we learn the most. Now we have the Knight of Wands here. This is very interesting. The Knight of Wands, we have the 2 of Discs. We have the 3 of Swords. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the 2 of Wands. And we have the 9 of Discs. Okay. And then lastly, power of prayer. Have courage to ask for and accept help. This is very interesting. Okay. Right. So what I want to say is that I think right now the circumstances are completely right for you to walk away. It's like you need to step right back from this situation. Just step away from it. You are still, you know, we have success here. We have exactly the right timing, the stars aligning for some connection that will bring you the help you need. And the timing will be perfect, and it's going to happen soon. You know, this is the way is going to open up for you. Super Souls, it really is. But something in the immediacy of your world, it had to come to a head, and you know, there is no point in going over spilt milk, as it were. It's time to walk away. Something really fired up. It got too fired up, but it was, and it created kind of division rather than harmony. It's time to see it clearly for what it is, to see mistakes for what they are, and actually to bring back balance into your world. What I do see is the conflict is actually over here. The conflict is over, and the wheel can turn. You know, we can start to see a way forwards. 5 of Wands. I always think with the 5 of Wands, even if something was a challenge, it's now going to move forwards because it can. Okay, it's almost like something had to happen that had to draw to a close in order for a pathway to open and for effectively, literally, balance to be returned. Everything here is talking about balance here. Conflict over, resolution, something. It's almost like if you need to heal something, or something's not right, the energy of something's not right, we have to So we've just got to acknowledge it in order for it to be able to move forwards, whether that means a permanent walking away or a temporary walking away, whether it means we've compromised too much and we need to rein that in, or whether we have not compromised enough and need to sort that one out. However we look at it, it's going to come back into balance. There is an absolute walking away with purpose, and it's completely right. We need to do so with good grace, learning from mistakes, appreciating the mistakes of others as well. Really, the entire purpose of this situation is about you being you, of you coming back into balance. This is almost like I almost want to say like an abscess. You know, if you have an abscess on your arm, it has to burst in order to be healed. It's like a something that has to open up in order for it to be healed. And I feel that's what's happened here. Power of prayer. Give this situation to God for uplifting and healing, and be open to miracles. This is magic. Heaven's unlimited resources, love and answers are awaiting your prayers. Be sure to act upon divine guidance God gives to you in response to your prayers. Something had to happen here because something wasn't right. You are way closer to your goal than you realize. You know, the person, the relationship, the friends, the friendship group, the connection that you've been seeking is actually really hovering in the near future. But this had to be cleared away first. So even though it may not feel good, something had to happen to bring it to light, because you just weren't being authentically you within this situation. Your angels are saying to you, ask us for help. You know, same with the angel of the night sky says, look, we're here. We want to be here for you. The entire universe wishes to support you. The star nation, the moon want to support you. Ask for help. Your angels, very clear message for you, super souls. Your angels cannot help you unless you ask. You know, and it's very, very interesting. I think I've had this discussion with a really good friend, and she will love that I'm sharing this with you. She has openly said, you know, the only time she's ever reached out and asked for help from her angels, it came really quickly. But she only ever asked when she got into really desperately deep water. And we had this kind of conversation about, you know, we only ever ask or we only ever pray because things are really awful. You know, how about we pray when things are really, really good? You know, and we're saying, could it be even better? You know, we tend to ask only for help when things are difficult. Now, something is difficult and there is a need to walk away and to leave a situation, an energy, a someone, a something behind. It's actually purposeful because it's clearing the way. You have worked so hard and the ascent is coming, and this, you know, this is going to happen, and it's going to happen in the near future. But for it to happen, the way had to be cleared. The conflict had to be, things that were under the surface that weren't being said had to be brought out into the open. Ask for help. Have courage to ask for and allow yourself to accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it's offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance as well as give it to others when you are guided. This is coming. This meeting is coming to you. This fated meeting. You are still on track on that pathway, but this had to happen. The signs, not only have the signs been there, and I think for some of you, maybe the signs were there and you were, I wouldn't say sort of ignoring them, but you know, stuff does get swept under the carpet sometimes because we don't want to rock the boat, or we feel we shouldn't say, or maybe even somebody couldn't say to us, they were anxious about rocking the boat. The signs were there and this needed to happen. This needed to come into the light, be seen for what it is. There's a need to walk away from this, but actually, your personal situation is going to resolve, and it's going to resolve in the near future. This had to happen, super souls, and the clearing the way here is going to bring you in this lovely energy. The Two of Wands, we're stepping out of the cave and back into the world, and that's what the angel of the night sky also says. There's a whole amazing world out there, and it's time for you to embrace it. And The Nine of Discs. I always feel this is a card of what I would call genuine self-satisfaction, where we have the right and entitlement to feel good because we know we've done the work, we've made that ascent. Let's just draw another card just to ask for something of an outcome here for you guys. This is beautiful. I told you guys, very beginning, I did say right at the start, I feel if this is not a relationship read, if this is a relationship reading, and if it's not, if that's not resonating, it might not be the reading for you. I fully acknowledge it could be any aspect of relationship, but this is harmony in relationship. Here is your Knight of Hearts, and this is non-gender specific. Here is the person of your dreams. Okay, this is happening in the near future. The fated meeting is coming. The soul connection, the person, the tribe, the connection. For some of you, this is definitely about an intimate soulmate. This person is coming, and it's coming in the near future. This is a situation that absolutely is resolving itself. This had to happen, the walking away, for there to be room for this to then emerge. Super souls, I just want to send you all the love in the world. Whatever's taken place, it had purpose. It's time to go out and embrace the world in its fullest and allow room. There was too much conflict around. This had to come out into the open and allow that to be resolved, so this level of harmony and balance can come into your world. The fated meeting can take place. Super souls, I'm sending you so much love. I mean, I'm really excited for you for this happening, which is in the near future. It's like you're so close to it. The ascent is like, wow, you're so close. If this reading has resonated to you, wonderful friends, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, this is one of the spontaneous ones that I do because the timing feels right. This is part of my timeless playlist sets of readings, where I'm building a massive playlist, literally adding to it all the time, where the readings are actually answering very specific questions or bringing very specific guidance from your angels or your spirit team. I post readings also every week on Sundays with weekly guidance from your spirit team. So there's a ton of readings on the Moon Magic Tarot channel for you to choose from. I also post a moon. I said earlier, I post a lunar update every single Friday now. I've just started doing that. That lunar update will literally tell you about what's happening with the moon and the incoming lunar energy day by day for the week ahead. So if you're wanting to align with that universal energy, in terms of your manifestations and in terms of your soul's evolution, you know, those are posted every Friday. I also give away a free private reading and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. That's these ones. That's a subscriber offer. So guys, if you want to get notification of any readings, subscribe and press the little bell icon. They should come into your stream. If you want to be on my subscriber email list, the link is in the information box below. Literally, it will just take you to a page, you sign, and that's it. Once you're on the list, you are on it, and you're on it forever. And my colleague draws the names out of a hat every month. And I post the winners on, I literally announce them after one of the Sunday readings. So watch out for those and that announcement. Super souls, I think that's really all to say. Just sending you all the love in the world. This had to happen. You know, the signs were there. It wasn't okay for things to be swept under the carpet. Whatever's brought to the surface, if the person you're with is right for you, then the walking away is important because you need separation. If the situation isn't right for you at all, you need to walk away. Either way, this is clear. Whatever's going on right here and right now, your guardian angels are saying to you this needed to happen, because it's how it needed to happen for you to be brought back into balance, to be your authentic self, and to re-find and make space for this connection to come into your world. Super souls, I am just sending you all the love in the world, and I am so excited for you. It feels so tough that there's been this sort of feels like a glitch, but you know, it so had to happen, and your guardian angels are just saying, well, you know, we didn't want this to happen, but it had to happen because something tremendously important had to be raised in order to clear the energy, clear the air, walk away, make space. So just honor everyone's mistakes, walk away with good grace, be you, and the more you are you, the more this attraction, the attraction of you, will resonate and bring in exactly this. And this is the person that you are needing, and it's happening soon. Super Souls, reading number 3. I am just sending you all the love in the world.